Reggie Bush, similar situation. I guess his parents took some money over. They were living in a house, and he ended up having his Heisman Trophy taken from him. Do you believe Reggie should get his Heisman Trophy back?
Without a doubt. It's legal now. What Reggie did then is legal now that somebody could do.
Right.
It wouldn't make him ineligible now, even though it did at the time. And in the grand scheme of things, I probably did way worse than Reggie.
Right.
And everybody's going to sit here and be like, why does he still have his Heisman but Reggie doesn't? And I can tell you the exact reason why. I explained this on Twitter and people didn't really understand it, but the way I was told, because the last 3-4 years, I've been walking back into the Heisman. I've been rallying the boy, talking with the guys. There's chatter, there's chirp going around that nobody in this crew, in this Heisman fraternity, sits right with us, that Reggie ain't up there with us every year. It makes every one of us sitting there, Troy Smith, all these guys that I sit next to on it. He deserves to be on that stage with us every year,
right,
unequivocally, without a doubt, without a question. One of the best college football players to ever lace him up, and a very, very good argument to be the best ever in college football.
Do you believe he'll get his trophy back?
What I've been told is that Reggie can't get his Heisman Trophy back until the NCAA makes his records and his accolades on the field for that year reinstated.
Okay.
As we know what the NCAA is now, what do you think the chances are that they're going to do the right thing?
Not looking likely.
Not looking likely, and it's sad. And from the top down, from the NCAA, they've been so wrong with so many things that you would hope that one day they would do the right thing and do this. I'm going to continue to do everything that I can in my power, whatever that may be. I'm just the little guy. I'm just the old first freshman to win it. I ain't got the clout like I used to be able to really make that happen. But for what I can in my part, I will always stand on this table right here for Reggie Bush and do anything that I can in my power to make sure that it's possible for him to even get his trophy back.
What's your best guess as to why Coach Saban walked away from the game, still coaching at the highest level?
I think the NIL has changed everything for what he's known. You know, I think it's made it so much more hands-on and continually having to stay on these guys because of how many people are in their ear. It's not the firm handshake anymore. It's not the old school ways of the world where your word is your bond and this and that. It is a very wishy-washy, where's the money today, right? And if it's today, somebody who can outbid you, where's your loyalty? Just 16, 17-year-old kids we're talking about here.
Right.
So in my opinion, Saban doesn't want to deal with that anymore. And what better way than to go out the way that he did? You know, from what I've seen and what I saw in the media, he's still very involved in the program. I mean, he retires and then goes back into the office at work the next day. So Nick Saban is it. He's him. He is exactly what you expect him to be. And when I met him, you know, in New York, that second year of 2013 when I went back, I remember him walking into the room. A.J. McCarron was a finalist, I think. And I think A.J. was a finalist. And he walks into the room and it's just like, I remember it like this cloud, huge aura of a person walking in. You know, he's not that big. But like the way he carries himself and the aura that he has around him is like nobody you're ever going to come in contact with. And I remember him walking into the room and shaking his hand and talking to him for a second. And then that conversation kind of fades and we go on about the night. And for the rest of my life, I'll never forget that moment of him walking in. That guy.
Is it a situation now with the NIL, no matter how great a coach is, you see in basketball, Coach K walks away, Roy Williams walks away. Some of the Pantheon greats have said, so now it's really a level playing field because Alabama used like, okay, we're going to put you in the NFL, but now somebody will say, well, they're going to put you in the NFL, but we're going to give you $2 million. So now has it leveled the playing field or has it created an unequal playing field?
There was already an unequal playing field, I feel like. So if anything, it's given the littler guys a chance. Like gives the Colorados, right?
Yeah.
Get a guy like Prime. Take your program from here to here. You're getting a little bit more level. You got the transfer portal. You know, Colorado can now take people from Alabama or Georgia that don't want to go there just based off the transfer portal. So I think it's brought it up and made it a little even. You know, college football goes in those waves of like, You got your Florida dynasty. You got your USC one. You have Texas with a little run in there. You know, you got your Ohio State. You got your Bama, Georgia. You have your runs of like, I didn't want to go on this whole SEC tangent and be all biased.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, I mean, there has always been teams every year throughout the year that are a little bit above and below the others. You can always have the little guy that comes up and has that magical run. But for the most part, you know, it is a little lopsided. Right. It is hard for those Akrons or bowling. Like, it is harder for those D1 lower schools to ever really get in the conversation. And in my opinion, I think this is a better way or only way that they can really ever even recruit on the same level as anybody else. And that'll mostly be through the transfer portal.
Yeah, but do you see these teams now? You see it probably Alabama and Ohio State and Michigan and all these teams. They're probably going to their boosters or they're going to their college and say, look, man, we got to have a fund. We got to have $25-30 million in order to get these kids. And now you see, look, and talking to Coach Prime, he's like, you know, you see guys going into the portal because these guys have already been in college. And so you kind of know, okay, they understand the college. They got to go to class. They got to go to study hall. They've already played college ball and played at a high level. So it's a little easier for you to break a guy off that's in the portal because, you know, look at Addison. He wins the Biletnikoff and he changes school. That's unheard of. You would have never got a guy that wins a Buckus or win an award. Do you? Award like that, the Gursky or whatever the case may be, the Thorpe, and transfer schools, Johnny.
What if I told you that after Cliff Kingsbury left and I won the Heisman that I thought about maybe going somewhere else too?
How much it was going to take for them to break you off for you to even consider it?
I don't know at that point in time. You know, I was thinking about like, you know, I loved A&M but this way that like.
Could you feel the shift?
Could I feel the shift? I don't know. I could see that I was getting used a little bit into what they needed me to do to have their master plan, right? A&M had their vision of what they needed with this hype and this success to get the program as a whole where they needed to be. Unfortunately, where they needed to go and where I needed to go and grow as a human being and as a football player weren't always step in step. They weren't always aligned.
Right.
Do I have hard feelings about it or do I feel any kind of way about it right now? Absolutely not. I love my school. I love what happened. I love walking back into that stadium and feeling like I had a piece of putting one of these bricks in the walls outside. And I can carry myself and say that. I don't think it's the house that Johnny built.
That's what they call it.
They can call it what they want.
You gotta like that.
Like?
Yeah.
That's disrespectful to Mike Evans. That's disrespectful to Jake Matthews.
Well, Mike Evans, they didn't call Mike Evans Mike Football. They call you Johnny Football. They didn't call Jake Matthews or Luke Jokel.
Okay, so I get the praise for what we do as a team because my play is special on the field.
Let me ask you a question. When you're a little kid, they're like, all right, who want to play O-line? Raise your hand. Who want to play DB? Raise your hand. Who want to play quarterback? Exactly. Okay. They chose the position that they wanted.
So it's a positional thing. You're giving the quarterback the rightful piece of the pie.
Now, which one of those guys was flying private?
Probably just me.
Yeah. Okay, who was buying jewelry cars?
Probably just me.
Yeah. Well, who was hanging with Drake and James, sitting courtside at James Harden?
It's definitely just
yes, me. Now you understand. It was the house that Johnny built.
Okay, so you put it that way. I mean, you ain't never gonna get me to admit to it.
But help me understand this, John. I'm trying to figure out how you get suspended for half a game. I mean, that's like I'm gonna suspend you from school, but you don't have to come to first, second, and third, but you get to come fourth, fifth, and sixth.
You know what I asked? I asked if I could be suspended for the second half because we'd be up so much in the first half.
Right.
They said no.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before two something.